Well, we're back with you to keep a close eye on what's going on in our ag commodity trade. And I want to bring aboard Todd Bubba Horowitz of BubbaTrading.com, and he hails this time from Las Vegas. And it's always a pleasure to talk with you, Todd. Markets seem to be in a bit of a funk this morning on the grain side. Just can't seem to get their feet underneath them. How come?
Well, I think we're just seeing very slow conditions. Again, when market volume is light, it's easier to push them around in direction. And I think that I still believe that the funds are trying to be buyers at lower prices. Marlon, the whole picture doesn't make any real sense when you look at the input cost. I mean, we're getting to a point where it's going to make sense for a lot of farmers not to plant this year. And that would be a pretty scary thing when you think about we already have a genuine food shortage and the cost of inflation. It almost appears as like they're keeping the pressure on the family farming community so that the corporate farming can take over, which is another scary little thought.
Well, now that we have a better idea, Todd, on what the input costs actually are this year, I mean, we're getting a better idea about fertilizer costs and chemicals and seed costs are all pretty well ironed out now. But if you can get to the point to where you can actually lock in a sure profit by locking in some new crop sales, how aggressive would you be about doing that right now? And I'm hearing some guys maybe looking at doing that and then maybe buy like a call option to protect it. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would always be hedging, Marlon, which was just simply the way that we do it, is just to keep protect the downside, but keep the upside wide open. Because if I am right, and we do end up in a big market, which I still believe is the case, I think that you're allowing yourself to play the upside while still locking in profit to the downside, so that you make sure that you are protected and your costs are protected. But we have a lot of issues, not to mention the input, which is the cost of money. Remember, farmers borrow a ton of money, and those interest rates continue to rise. And I think they're going to continue that, which is just another piece that we can't really account for today.
Well, let's take a look at what the market is doing right now then, and we'll go ahead and start with that corn market with our quotes provided by bar chart. We have turned back mixed again. So kind of a split decision here, Todd. You have weakness on the nearbys. May corn down 4 at 645 and a quarter, but you have December new crop corn now 3/4 higher, and it's at 577. Boy, it's been quiet, though. From the high to the low on December corn, only 4 cents wide. And now on soybeans, look at May. We're down 8 at 15.11 and a quarter. That's off of its overnight high by about 13 cents. And we'll go ahead and switch to that November contract, too, to see what's going on there. We are currently down by 5 1/4 cents. 13.68 and 3/4 right now. Well, it's been a tough go in the wheat complex as well. Chicago wheat sliding even further. We have May down 12 3/4 now, all the way down to 709, and we have that July contract down 12 cents. In Kansas City wheat, we have the May down 20 at 815 and a quarter. Janet just mentioned a little bit ago about all the dust storms, but they did get some rain over the weekend. July KC wheat down 19 cents right now. Yikes, look at that, 809 now on the July contract. And in Minneapolis, you have the May wheat down 15 and a quarter at 867 and a quarter. We'll come back and talk more with Todd about our livestock trade on the other side of these messages. Now to livestock. Here we go. Live cattle. Let's take a look at the big board. On our quotes provided by bar chart, we are just holding on to where we were, about an hour and a half ago. We have April live cattle still 35 higher, 165.72. June is up 45. And the feeder cattle market, remember how it firmed up after the open? It's just locked right there. April feeders up $1.42 at 195. You have May feeders $1.22 higher, still above 199 at 199.27 right now. Well, let's check out the lean hogs. They were under quite a bit of pressure today. And you have the April contract still down 70 cents. May is down $1.15 at 94.20. So for some reason, they're picking on the May more than the other months there. Todd, any idea why?
Well, I think, Marlon, we're watching really, this is a trade crude versus protein. When crude is lower, cattle seems to rally. And it's interesting that fat cattle is about 6% from its all-time highs, which is really interesting when you watch. I mean, they continue to go up almost on a daily basis. And again, as long as oil stays, lower, I think that the budget allows for higher class protein, I guess we'll call it. And when oil goes up, then we go to hogs or then we go to poultry. And I think it's really that simple, that it's a budget issue for the consumer. But prices, I was at a store the other day buying steaks that you had to pay for them first and then pick them up before they let you go. They're worried about you stealing them. And it's an interesting dynamic in what's going on in a lot of these prices in these stores.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to have these steaks in these little lockable plastic containers, like if you buy like razor blades or something.
Like razor blades. It's really scary. I mean, again, listen, the cost at the retail end is ridiculous. I don't know how people can afford to live. That's really what it's coming down to.
Wow. All right, we do have some new cutout information too that just came across here, and the beef cutouts. Let's see, what do we have here today? Looks like choice cuts down 32 cents. On the mid-morning update. Apparently that didn't update for me there. Looks like selects were up $1.97. So kind of a split decision there this morning. But anyway, they have been riding pretty high here for quite a while. Well, Todd, I enjoyed talking with you. Thank you, sir. And
Thanks,
stay safe out there in Las Vegas. Appreciate the report. Todd Bubba Horowitz at BubbaTrading.com with us here this morning. So, Janet, that's the latest in the markets. Kind of status quo.